Hey, First Baptist Church, it's Pastor Jeremy. I wanted to speak to you for just a few moments about the situation that our country faces involving the recent killings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery, and the responses that have come because of those events. So I want to share a few pastoral thoughts with you about that. My words are mine and mine alone. This is not a staff statement. It's not an official statement from the church. This is me giving my pastoral word, and like me, each of you, I think, are working through this moment, wondering how to respond or if you should respond. And I'm here with you trying to make some sense of where to go. I want to honor God. I want to honor my neighbors. I want to honor the Black community with my words and my actions now and in the future. So like you, I'm saddened, I'm sickened, and I'm outraged to see the videos and to read reports of what happened to George and to Breonna. Breonna, by the way, was from my hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, and then Ahmaud as well. Too many others before them, and I think are also a part of this conversation. And I'm saddened by the abuses of power that took the lives of these individuals. The racist attitudes that played a role in these killings. I trust that you've heard and read stories over the previous few weeks that give testimony to what it's like to live as a Black person in America today. And we need to hear those stories. We need to hear those accounts. Those are the stories of individuals created in the image of God, and we should care for those individuals by listening to their stories. In Luke 4, Jesus takes the Isaiah scroll and he reads, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind and to set the oppressed free." In this gospel passage and in several others, we read that Jesus' very purpose involves lifting up the downtrodden and proclaiming freedom to the oppressed. Jesus does not wish for any of God's children to live in fear or to suffer at the hands of another person. And as followers of Christ, we must be committed to compassion and advocacy for the oppressed and the marginalized in our society and to seeking Christ-like justice. And so for that reason, I'm 100% behind the efforts of those who are collectively doing their part to amplify the cries of the Black community as they seek racial justice. I think they've more than earned their right to display grief and to show some righteous anger and to demand justice on behalf of the victims. No, I'll never condone rioting or looting or vandalism, which tend to arise from a few individuals out of thousands and thousands of protesters who are peacefully demonstrating. I'm praying for our law enforcement and for our first responders that they would have wisdom and clarity in knowing how to respond and how to do their work in such a difficult time. But the question facing us right now, I think the question facing the church and facing society is not whether or not looting or vandalism is okay, because I think most of us agree it's not. That's shifting our focus to the destructive acts, which has once again arisen from a few people out of thousands, and it's taking away from the work that must be done in the area of bringing good news and bringing good news of freedom for the oppressed and of working for racial justice and of bringing the radical transformative love of Christ to our communities. That's the work that we need to focus on and not lose sight of, and that we'll be more committed to today than we were yesterday. In the first chapter of James, it says, "Know this, my dear brothers and sisters. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to grow angry." So slow to speak and slow to grow angry, but we are encouraged to be quick to listen. So I'm doing my best to heed this word today because it's easy to jump into any current situation, but this one in particular, and to say what we do and to point fingers and to claim we know how some should feel and how some shouldn't feel and how they should express themselves or not express themselves. And so my challenge to you today is to listen. Listen to the cries of those who are hurting. Specifically, be quick to listen to the anguish of the Black community. Hear their pain, hear their struggle, hear the fears from our Black brothers and sisters, and take it to heart and empathize with their pain. It should be obvious that we, and when I say we, I'm speaking for myself as a white person, we have a lot to learn. When we humble ourselves and commit ourselves to learning other experiences and other people's experiences, we'll be prepared to step in and to serve in the best way that we can. So, of course, pray. I'm praying, and I hope you're also praying for the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and others who have lost their lives. I hope that you'll pray for the black community who longs for justice and the chance to live their lives without fear of being targeted because of the color of their skin. Pray for those who are demonstrating, that their voice would be heard, and pray for those who are seeking to keep the peace. Pray for our country and that we would find compassion and change our ways. I know that First Baptist Church is committed to and continues to be a welcoming church, and we will continue to welcome individuals and families who represent a diversity of worldviews and theologies and cultures, and yes, also race and ethnicity. You have been and will continue to be involved in the work of mending division and pain in our community in the name of Jesus, and I'm thankful to be a part of that. For our black brothers and sisters at FBC and in the Gainesville community, we will do our absolute best to support you and to advocate for you and to listen to you in this critical time and for the long haul. So as I've said countless times, thanks for your hospitality and welcoming me and my family into this community, and I pray God's blessings on you today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.